That's ridiculous.
All you doing is you just get more hope. But if you are not the Super Bowl champion, it does not matter what you've accomplished.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Oh, yes. Hey, welcome back, y'all. We're reacting to Stephen A's podcast that he just had with Micah. My apologies, Micah Parsons, coming off another tough loss. And I think in this video, you're gonna see like he presses him a bit in some areas. And starting out, I don't like the stance that we're taking on Stephen A. I don't. This is I'm one of the few people I don't believe wins is a QB stat because, and I play football. I'm a student of the game, and I understand the X's and O's. There's more. They have the greatest influence, but just because you have the greatest influence don't mean the end all be all is in that position. I believe great quarterbacks can hide flaws, and I believe other areas of a team, just in a 53-man roster, can also hide flaws in a quarterback. But in all be all, that there's three phases of the game, and a great defense, great special teams, a great supporting cast around a quarterback can have so much influence on a quarterback. So just to base wins and losses off that fact alone, I think that's highly unfair. And yeah, I just don't believe that it should be fully a QB stat.
I just think when y'all analyzing, I think so much falls on the quarterback. And
we know this, Micah. Why you do?
So this is where Stephen A just boils my buttons with this, bro, because he's just sitting up here just lying. And this is what I hate about it. And I understand he's the face of the ESPN. They're trying to push a product, and and I think he's supposed to take a stance in every avenue of what he's got going on, because it's gonna conflict of interest of his main stance on his main job. But my thing is this: either I don't know where his truth lies, and I think his truth lies with believing that he believes that it's all on Dak. But if it wasn't, he's feeding himself this propaganda over and over again at his job of feeding this. My thing is this, and I'm gonna start. This is why on the podcast, the JM Sports Factory, if you haven't subscribed, I'm gonna start holding quarterbacks to this Dak standard that Stephen A is displaying right now. We just named quarterbacks that we all, and I mean do all casuals and people who know football. We have these quarterbacks levels are higher than Dak, but we don't hold them to the same expectation as Dak, if that makes sense. Like we don't have them, we don't hold them to the same expectation, right? Like whether you like it or not, like Dak can do one thing and Josh Allen can do another, and I'm telling you which one is going to get how like the connotation of words that you use, it's just different. And the fact that you gonna sit here in my face and to tell me that it's not, when it's clearly, maybe you don't see it, but it's blatant, and it's blatant. Just your competitors, they're using it, and I know why you're using it. Keep it a bean. We pay your bills. We pay your bills. So you have to be, this you have to be this hyperbolic, and you have to. So every time you speak about us, it's always to an extreme. But when we call you out on it, don't get surprised.
Because y'all forget that it's so much other factors out there.
We didn't do that to Patrick Mahomes. We didn't do that to Lamar Jackson. We didn't do that to Josh Allen.
Not to the same extent. Not to the same extent. Not to the same extent.
I'm calling it cruel. Hell yeah. I mean, after this loss, I'm done really defending Dak on the field. But yes, I will firmly be on the stance of he is the most scrutinized and hated player when it comes to the media in history, probably in the history of fucking sports. That's how far I'm willing to go, because it's, bro, it's going to the fact where we have people who will break like the common courtesy or etiquette on television to go to that hyperbolic, space and call him ass on multiple occasions on national television, which you're doing it for clicks and views, but another quarterback can have the same or maybe even like a worse game, and it's not met with the same amount of words. And the fact that you, Stephen A, you're gonna sit here and just lie to me like this. I'm telling you, you just gonna sit here and lie like this, like it's not being, like you ain't been feeding that propaganda. You have been the biggest, and it's just mind-boggling to me. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Are you thinking we about too hard on Dak Prescott with his player performances?
I just think y'all analyze everyone differently.
What's that face for? Selected, edited stats. I'm going to say it again. Selected, edited stats. Here's my breakdown. The year when Trayvon Diggs was leading the league in interceptions, the stat that came up, and it came up to degrade his name, which is mind-boggling because we have never seen anything like this, was yards given up. Yards given up without any context or anything like that. But in the media, just you mentioning it is gonna bring all eyes. And I don't think Stephen A and ESPN and Fox or CBS realize the impact that they have when they say shit like that. That's what boils it boils my blood, because now everyone, even the casual eye, is mentioning it without any context. But they know you did it for a click and view. I'm telling you that year it was mind-boggling to me, because in the context, most of the yards he given up was in garbage time. But can you tell me the cornerback who gave up the most yards the year after that? What about the year after that? Who has it the most this year? Let's go last year when Dak was leading the league in interceptions. You know who has been leading the league in interceptions since like 2021 and 2022? Josh Allen. One is called a gunslinger, and one is called turnover prone. One was so under the microscope about his turnovers. These fools were recording in fucking practice and put it online. Practice interceptions. And they was like, and they just wrote him off. I don't know any other quarterback you're going above and beyond. Your actions is not meeting with your words, Stephen A. You sitting up here lying in my face.
Besides Patrick Mahomes,
Right.
what other quarterback in the AFC has accomplished anything to get more credit than Dak?
Joe Burrow.
So quick with it too. So quick with it. Oh, Joe Burrow has he in my opinion, he has had a great season. But I guess my biggest knock to him is injuries. It's his availability, been his. In my opinion, he has had more surrounding talent around him than Dak. He's had a consistent number one and number two, and a consistent run game behind him. And, he's the only consistent foe to Mahomes. And we're going to get into some other names, because there's some other names I'll have it higher on my list. But as far as that, and then he got to the Super Bowl, but he didn't win. So, why are we validating losers? Participation trophies.
Josh Allen.
Did he finish?
No. But they got
It
further.
doesn't matter how far you get. If you're going home and you're not tearing the ring, it doesn't matter.
That's the name I wanted you to mention. Oh, I'm gonna hold him under that microscope. Josh Allen. Josh Allen is before our eyes is becoming our generation's Phillip Rivers. If anybody remember that, Phillip Rivers. People will compare him to Peyton Manning, but hell, at least Peyton Manning won something. I don't want to disrespect his name, but every time his name is not as scrutinized as it should be. Okay, it's getting to the point, man. He can't beat Mahomes no matter the conditions, no matter if the cards are on his side. I mean, I understand as in our podcast we say the plot of him constantly going in the Arrowhead and having to do that. I know the game where they went neck and neck with Mahomes at the Thriller at the end, and it came down to to the last few plays. But this year, I would say you had no excuse. And I will keep telling people this is the weakest that the Chiefs have ever looked from an offensive standpoint. And your strength is on offense, so you should be able to get something moving on. And this is the first time Mahomes has left Arrowhead and came to your house, your snow, your cold conditions. You dealing with this all week. So what's the excuse? Why you can't get it done? And it seems like it's always something every year. I mean, last year you had the freak accident, and I understand that shock. But the year before that, I have already came to the conclusion you ain't gonna never get it done if you have to go through Mahomes. If you have to see Mahomes next year, I'm already writing up as an L. But we're not holding it against him. My guy Stephen A is applauding him for getting there. The thing is, I may be bashing their quarterback, but I actually got very much respect for the Bills organization. The Bills organization have in the 90s. They actually lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, if y'all understand. My Cowboys, I think we won 1 or 2 of those, obviously. But the reason why I have respect for them is that you don't hear their fan base gloating about those Super Bowls. They're not boasting about being there. No, they want to win one. But hint, hint, wink, wink. I hear other organizations that they'll gloat that. And this guy right here, this guy Stephen A. Apparently, he's the one to praise people for getting that far. In my opinion, like I've been on the side of Micah. I don't give out participation trophies. If you get there, you win it. History does not remember the losers. We don't. They never have. Okay, because when you get to those end of the season meetings, I'm telling you what the coach is saying. If they're good at their job, they're saying like, "Hey, we got this far. Now, what do we need to do to get over the hump? The hump being, if you're in the AFC, it's Patrick Mahomes. The Bengals have gotten over that, but they ain't been back. And when they got over the hump, they didn't beat Stafford, like he said. So it disinvalidates you. Once you get over your biggest foe, who's keeping you from there, you need to win it all, or I don't care if you got to the Super Bowl. If you ain't first, you're last. Or you the first loser. We're not going to validate people because of what they did. So I'm with Micah, 100%.
When you go to the Hall of Fame, or you do anything, does it say made an NFC Championship final?
No.
It gives you a Pro Bowl, or All-Pro, and Super Bowl. Those are the only 3 things that they consider. They don't say, oh, you made it to the NFC Championship, you deserve this.
Bro.
If you do not win the big one, it does not matter.
I understand that.
Jalen Hurts' year went this shit once Patrick Mahomes won that Super Bowl last year.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson year went this shit the moment that Patrick Mahomes beat him in the
But
AFC.
they got there.
It doesn't matter if you got there if you don't win when you get there.
Excuse me.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Where were you last week before Super Bowl?
I was at Pro Bowl.
Where were you after the Pro Bowl?
I was in Vegas.
What was in Vegas?
The Super Bowl.
Yeah, you think? Because that center stage, it matters.
It does.
Right there. So
And if you don't win at that stage, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't. So, in other words, the 2-week period where you prepare for the Super Bowl, after you smoke somebody in a wild card game, after you smoke somebody in the divisional game, after you smoke somebody in the NFC Championship game, you trying to tell me all of that doesn't matter because the big game you need to finish?
Yeah.
I'm surprised this is coming from Stephen A. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watch First Take every day, but you wouldn't have known that Stephen A. is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Another respect. That's NFL royalty as well. I don't think they had this type of mindset. They happy with just getting there. They got the same amount of rings as us, or I think one more. They trying to win. This is why I'm on the side of the Niners. This is the worst loss. And this is the thing that Stephen A. doesn't fail to understand. Like this is why it goes back to my argument. You cannot count QB wins as a QB stat. This is why. I think this year's Super Bowl was the worst loss for the 49ers. Their worst Super Bowl loss. You know why? When you're building this team, you built this superstar of a team, You don't build it for an NFC Championship appearance. You don't build it for a chance to rub elbows with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You built it for Super Bowl or bust. So, spoiler alert, it was a bust because you signed Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. Juszczyk, the best fullback in the league. Trent Williams, the best left tackle in the league. Ayuk, one of the best route runners in the league. Kittle, top 2-3 best tight ends in the league. Debo, the best Swiss Army knight in the league. Let's go to the defense. Fred Warner, the best middle linebacker in the league. Kinlaw, Greenlaw, the top 10 linebacker in the league. Chase Young, promising player, very good player. Javon Hargrave, top 10 D tackle in the league. Nick Bosa, top defensive player of the league, top DN in the league. Haufunga, he got hurt, but you have him on your roster. You started the roster with it. So all these things, when you're building this roster, you don't build it for just getting there. So how can you say this is like, how can we not criticize that? I know why you ain't criticizing it, because it don't help your ratings out. I'd be better off if you claim that the Stephen A show is where you can be you. This is where I need to hear you say, like, we don't talk about that because it ain't with ratings. But don't be up here and lie. Or if you believe that, man, then your football word, I can't really like validate anymore, because this is ridiculous. Like, the audacity.
You trying to tell me all of that doesn't matter because the big game you didn't finish?
Yeah.
Yep. And Stephen A knows this, bro. He's a smart man. He should know this. If he knows football, he should know this. I mean, like, this is why I don't like this. I'm telling you, it didn't start selected edited stat. This didn't start till like Dak Prescott was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Tony Romo got scrutiny, but I don't think he got this much as like Dak. Like, all these new narratives that we suddenly care about. We suddenly and I do mean suddenly all of a sudden care about. We're caring about teams making it to the NFC Championship game, teams making it to the Super Bowl. We don't care about that, because when your career is all said and done, history does not remember that. Okay? I mean, great football minds who can trace history, but like I'm telling you, on the dotted line, on that line, we all will remember on your accolades if you was part of the championship winning team. We do not care if you was on the second, because we don't care about that. Like, but you do. You know why? It doesn't fit your agenda.
Yeah, because people like
Because people like me.
What has anybody else accomplished?
What about me?
Jalen Hurts is the same argument. The same argument I gave for the Niners is the same argument I gave for the Eagles. I mean, I'm not even talking about the dude's ability, but I'm just saying, bro, like, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm be all on Twitter. They can't leave that appearance alone. They can't. And to make it even worse, the context, y'all lost to Mahomes on 1 foot. It's the funny thing about it, bro. Like, and when you build this roster, see, this is the thing, is y'all be building these rosters that's even on paper, 49ers, y'all were better than the Chiefs. And it showed on the game in the first half, and you was supposed to be up more. But you weren't. You weren't. Because the difference maker is the guy behind center. The difference maker. But your guy behind center couldn't get it done, and no one says it. No one says anything about it. We won't hear a peep from it again. We just praising it. That's the connotation I'm talking about. It's a connotation. Props to getting there, but you didn't win it. So what else there's to talk about? Only thing we need to praise from these 2 Super Bowls is how great Mahomes is. But yet we're finding another quarterback that we can shit on fucking Dak with.
And you get sent home. No parade, no nothing.
You asked me about
no parade, no nothing. I'm not giving out. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving participation.
Participate? Well, they had to. How they had to win to participate.
And you can honestly say,
win to participate in the Super Bowl.
You gotta see the NFC. The NFC is better than the AFC. It has been.
That's what we doing. That's what we doing now. So in other words, you're trying to tell me that Dak Prescott has had a tougher road than a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes or somebody?
How can you say that when Patrick Mahomes has been dominant the last 5 years?
Okay, take out Patrick Mahomes. You trying to tell me?
Then what has anybody else? Then what has anybody else accomplished?
Is this why you got a podcast?
Yeah, because people like.
Because people like me.
What has anybody else accomplished?
What about me? What did I do?
Because you're trying to take away Dak Prescott's career, but what has anybody else in the league accomplished besides Patrick Mahomes? It has been Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
You got a podcast. So you can sit up there and to call yourself debunking the kind of substantive, factual content that people like me are providing.
It's
You're
true.
saying that Dak Prescott.
What have they done? What have they done?
They've done more than that.
Josh Allen almost made it to the NFL Super Bowl.
He made it to an AFC championship.
It doesn't matter. He couldn't beat the number one guy. It doesn't matter. He couldn't beat the number one guy. He couldn't beat the number one guy.
Joe Burrow beat the number one.
And then he lost to Stafford. And then he lost to Stafford. He lost to Stafford.
100%. It does not matter. It does not matter. I'm sorry. What is this little battle? It doesn't matter, Stephen A. Well, I don't know why you think that matters. Why do we have to validate you beating somebody in the playoffs if you didn't win it all? Like all we do, it doesn't. I'm telling you, it doesn't. It doesn't because like I mentioned, those 4 Super Bowls that in a row, might I add, that the Bills lost. We only memorize them because they lost so much in a short time. It's like, oh, dang, the Bills lost again. Oh, the Bills. That's the only reason. But we don't. I mean, tell me who was the 2015 loser. Some of you may be able to recall, but like, tell me, do we care? No, we care about the winner, and that's why from now on I will be holding. This is exactly what. Thank you, Stephen A. I made like after that the Packers loss, I've made the ultimate goal. Now I'm finna hold quarterbacks to this Dak standard. I'm finna hold them to the Dak standard. Lamar Jackson, I love you, but when you gonna get it done? When you gonna get it done? You had every time you got here, you have a top 2 defense behind you. The first time, I get it. Well, I don't get it. Because according to Stephen A's logic, regardless if the whole team is dropping balls or not, you still need to go out there and get it done. Regardless. Without context or anything like that. Josh Allen, you can't beat the same person, no matter how talented your team is, no matter how good your offensive weapons is. You can't beat the same person. Justin Herbert. Don't even get me started on you, boy. I'm telling you. Don't even get me started on you. You are the definition. The definition of having done anything. Anything. And everyone has an excuse for you every year. Joe Burrow, you got there. You didn't get it done. You need to go back and do it again. People say it's a team around you. Is it you? Jalen Hurts, please. Jalen Hurts, Tua, and Brock. Y'all all fall in the same category. I saw you before in your first season and you were struggling. And then your GM worked magic and gets top level talent around you and your numbers skyrocket. And for some of you, you got to the big game. And yet, people like this man right here, they'll prop the narrative up that they're here because of you. But I know the X's and O's. I know you got 10 all-pros around you, and I know that it's making your job a lot easier. And that's why I value in a quarterback what you can do without. Dak, I know. Yeah, Dak, you had talented teams. You should have got it done. But my only reason why I'm here today because people just don't. They fail to realize the context, the connotation they use behind the words when talking about you. That's why I'm finna hold everyone to the harsh expectations. You were top Trevor Lawrence. You folded. CJ Stroud, rookie year. Why not get it done? I'm sorry, these are Dak expectations. Dak had this on his shoulders from the first year he was in the league. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, if you made it this far, man, make sure you like and subscribe. So you know, I'm still releasing some football content. It's just coming at a slower pace. We're focusing more on the Mavericks season, NBA season now. But yeah, I just had to react to this video for y'all because I feel like This was a much needed video to like because we can do it so much on Twitter of pressing Stephen A. and he loves it. It's just clicks and views. But when he finally gets somebody on his show that and maybe he knew Mike was gonna press him, but I don't think he knew he was gonna press him like that, and he was gonna come with facts like that. And the man was he was speechless, and he was left in his own inconsistencies. That's what it is, inconsistencies. But yeah, man, thank you, man. Peace.